Judy was here the other day, we got into a hot topic that had blood boiling here. Barbara Harris is paying addicts $200 in cash to be sterilized or agree to long-term birth control. She was a hot topic earlier this week and is featured in Marie Claire magazine. Today, she's here to talk about her controversial program. Please welcome Barbara Harris, director and founder of CRACK, Children Requiring a Caring Community. Barbara, let me ask you, why did you start this?
It all started happening in 1989. My husband and I became foster parents, and we adopted 4 children that were born to one addicted woman who had had a total of 8. We didn't adopt them all at once. We got the first little girl, and then the following year we found out she had another one, and we took that one, and then it was just the same story every year.
4 born addicted to crack?
She had 8. We have the youngest 4.
And what's the purpose? Explain to us exactly how the program works. You don't actually sterilize these people yourself or give them birth control. So
no, we offer a cash incentive, which is the motivation behind the program, for these women to do the right, responsible thing, use birth control.
You give them $200 each, which they can spend on crack.
That's their choice, but the babies don't have a choice.
But so your concern is these babies.
Right,
really.
It's not about the women. People need to understand that this is not about women to me. It's about children.
Yeah.
These women, it's their choice to use drugs, but the babies don't have a choice. And these women don't just have 1 and 2 babies. They have 6, 7, 8, 10, 14 babies that are all in the system.
But there are people who argue that you get women when they're at their weakest, or men, because you offer the incentive to men as well, who are...
Most of them haven't taken it.
Right.
Yeah, men haven't taken it.
But I'm just saying when they're at their weakest, and so some believe that it is coercion, or in fact rewarding somebody for bad behavior, which is what Judge Judy felt.
Yeah, and I didn't really understand why she said that.
But let me tell you what, let's go into that a little bit, because again, we should point out that your concern is not these women. I mean, if you can get them into drug programs, fine, but your concern is that they're having, how many babies?
Well, one of our women had 14.
Because
I mean, people need to understand that these women are not just having 1 or 2 babies. They're having babies yearly, twice yearly in many cases, because they're born premature.
Okay, well, we polled our audience on their thoughts, and we asked them to check our website and tell us how they felt, and we had almost 6,000 votes, and here was the results. 39% said yes, that there should be this program, and 61% said no. Now, it could be that they were influenced by Judge Judy, who was very strong about it. Maybe they didn't understand it. But Judge Judy's point was, and I hate to quote her because I may not get it exactly, but instead of rewarding these women, if they have 2, 3 babies, put them in jail. If they have more, put them in jail for 6 months or 1 year, or let me not give the time, and that will do more than trying to do this. That was her. She said that she's never seen that giving reward, she was in family court for years, that helps.
Right, and she's just uninformed, and she's not aware of the problem, because number one, if we start arresting these women, they're not going to go to the hospital to have their babies. They're going to drop them in alleys. Number 2, jail is not the answer to the problem that I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with the problem of babies being born addicted to drugs. The only solution to that problem is birth control. It's not treatment, because they can go through treatment and get back on drugs. It's not being in jail, because they can get out of jail and go back on drugs. The only true solution to the problem of women giving birth to drug-addicted babies is birth control.
What if they're so hungry for this $200 that they allow themselves to have a tubal ligation, and then at some point they clean up their act and they want to have children?
And what if they don't? I mean, that's what some people say. What if 5 years down the road they meet Mr. Right and they want to have a family and they can't? Well, what if they don't? Then they have 5 more babies in the meantime?
Most of the women that have taken advantage of this program have chosen tubal ligation.
Right, 40 out of 53.
How many women have come to you so far?
53.
53.
And this is what people need to understand. I have our latest stats, and this is the impact that people need to understand. Those 53 women were pregnant 394 times. They had 150 abortions. They gave birth to 244 children. 37 of those didn't survive. And out of the 207 that were fortunate enough to survive, 163 are in foster care.
Why do they have so many children?
Because they're irresponsible. They're not, the only thing they're thinking about is where and how they're going to get their next high. They're not thinking about getting pregnant. They're irresponsible.
You know, when I read criticisms of this program, a lot of it is focused on the type of women that you're targeting, and a lot of people believe that you target minorities.
Yeah, and that's,
well, that's a
very sad thing that people say, because I've been approached by a few black women telling me that I'm a racist, and they're more racist than I am, because out of the 53 women that have come through our program, it's been cut off, more are white than black. So they're more racist than I am, assuming that all drug addicts are black. That's the way I see it.
Who pays for this?
We're a nonprofit organization, and we receive donations. It's
And
not
you're-
out of government money, as Judge Judy thought. It comes from
It's all
private
private
donations.
donations.
And where are you located?
We're in California.
You're in California.
But we're spreading. We're putting up billboards in Chicago, Florida, Minnesota. So we're spreading.
And who in those states are attracted to the program when you say you're spreading? Because from the poll, you see the majority are not in favor of it, yet if you're
Well, I
spreading,
think
somebody
Judge
is.
Judy swayed that poll, unfortunately, because she was uninformed. So people who listened to her were uninformed because the other polls have been done and 98% of the people were for us. So unfortunately, she didn't know. She was uninformed, and they listened to her. And
Well, I
Thank
have a
you.
feeling we'll hear from her too, but
How are your four doing, by the way? Okay,
Great.
thank you. Our thanks to Barbara Harris. And for more information on crack, children requiring a caring community, please check out our website at abc.com/theview. When we come back, find out why herbal supplements can put your health at risk. We'll be right back.